No. Why are you
Hey,
molding?
xQc, can I have
5
a
seconds
welcome
into
to
the
jungle?
1986 World Cup match between Argentina and England, Diego
Chat,
Maradona
before we watch World Cup, chat, this says how the AI works with penalties or outside. I want to see it.
did something infamous.
Over the top, and Maradona has scored.
This moment goes down in history because of what the commentators could clearly see.
But that is why England are so furious. Maradona has punched it in with his left hand.
But in 1986, referees didn't have access to instant replays. They had to make judgment calls from the field based on their limited perspective on what happened.
Thank you
And
for these
their subjective
27
view on it
runs.
was that this goal was good. This
Okay.
would never
Just one thought, chat. Why wouldn't they have multiple observers, like 10 observers that are paid, and they go on the field at certain increments, and they look. If the guy makes a bad call, he goes to the
27
observers,
runs
right?
sipping.
He calls for an observer meeting. Says, "Yo, dude, people that are in position, what did you see, whatever?" And then boom, they did. They had 4, and they still fucked it up.
never happen today, as technology has empowered referees to view moments again and again from multiple different angles before making a final decision. And this year's World Cup features a technology that takes that a step further, judging when someone is offside using AI.
All right, so the simplest way of explaining offsides is that the offensive player has to have 2 defensive players between them and the goal, or be behind where the ball is. Most of the time, it's the goalkeeper plus 1 defender.
I'm learning,
For the
yo.
most part, if any offensive players are behind this second to last defender while the ball is in play, they're offside. That's Jeremiah Oshan, by the way.
Soccer editor of SB Nation.
Offside should be an objective call. Either you're in front of this line or
Wait.
behind it. What makes it tricky
Yeah,
is that
I was about to say, this is even I understand this better than how they explained it.
Fuck the
we're
haters.
often judging with
The juice up is
subjective
one of the best
perspectives,
part of the
and
stream.
it can be hard to tell when a player is
xQcL.
teetering over the line. As this tweet by Dale Johnson of ESPN shows, the angle at which you see something really matters. These two
Chat, I thought it was about the pass timing. It's whenever he's about to pass, whenever he goes for it, it cannot have a guy pass the last defender. If the ball is in play, it doesn't matter. As long as he's not, right? Doesn't matter.
images from the March 20th game between Liverpool and
So-
Nottingham
yeah, I guess
Forest
even I have
show
it
the
right.
same moment in time from 2 slightly different perspectives. In the image on the left, number 20 looks like he's in front of number 3, but on the right, it looks like their positions are inverted. If
Wait a
audience
minute.
members only see an angle they feel is uncompelling, it can leave them unsure that the right call was made. Like in this October 7th game between England and the US.
Maybe they're looking at an offside call potentially, but looks like Sophia Smith is onside.
This call shocked even the commentators.
No goal.
Goal right there is where they're saying Sophia's offside already.
This goal would have tied the match at 2-2, but because it was revoked, England won 2-1. It was revoked in part because of VAR. Video-assisted referees were introduced in 2018 with the intention of making calls like
Rigged.
this a little more objective. These refs are in a room away from the match, but they have the advantage of seeing the event from 33 camera angles. If they see
Jesus!
something they think a referee didn't or couldn't have seen, they can suggest that the footage be reviewed on the field monitor. This enhances the
xQcL.
accuracy and objectivity of calls, but it still relies on perspective. For the 2022 World Cup, FIFA is introducing semi-automated
Why don't
AI
they just use
offside
lasers?
technology. A sensor in the ball will relay its position on the field 500 times a second, and 12 motion cameras mounted underneath the roof of stadiums will
Just use lasers. That's it.
use machine learning to triangulate players' body positions. This data can be used to create a 3D visualization of a play that can be viewed from any angle. Like in this early test during a September match, the virtual camera is able to fly around, giving an almost godlike perspective of the
Well,
scenario.
that's fucking broken.
There are no viewing angle limitations, no frame rate delays. It's a near one-to-one recreation of the event. Seemingly indisputable evidence for referees and audience members that this player's knee was offside by this much. Subjectivity isn't being totally removed from the equation, though. The technology being only semi-automated means that human referees will still make the final calls after taking what the AI shows under consideration. And that can be critical, because while this tech can judge space flawlessly, it can't see everything, like a player's intentions.
There was an MLS game between LAFC and Austin FC where a foul potentially occurred. The referee decided not to give the penalty for subjective reasons, which was, his touch was taking him away from the ball, which implied that maybe he wasn't really fouled as much as the replay made it kind of look like he was. And I thought that was actually a really good use of VAR, where he clearly was shown what happened, and he was allowed to make a decision about whether or not he.
Wait a minute. Yo.
Semi-automated.
That's what I said yesterday. I said intentions matter, right? If somebody is intentionally making a fouls. Yo, that's what I said.
AI offside tech is meant to make referees less reliant on subjective perspective. But it's just a tool. How it'll change gameplay depends on how it gets used. And ultimately,
don't care. Rigged. Whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. Rigged or not, I'm watching this shit, man. Yo, I'm too